Hello, Joe Gaming Girly here, and what does I think about this game? Yeah, I'm not good with reviews. I'm terrible. This is why I don't do many reviews. I'm probably going to end up saying this is a really good game, and yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's a good game. Review over. I'm terrible at reviews, so let's try and think. It's kind of hard when you got a camera in your face and you're like, right, I don't know what to say. um, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say it is very, very well made, very, very good. And you know, pretty close to the original. And that's a good thing. There's a couple of things that are no longer in this game. I think there's a boss that's missing from the original, and a couple of other bits, but nothing that you're amiss. It's very, very close to the original, actually, and yeah, it brought back some memories for sure. They definitely ironed out a lot of problems for me because Resident Evil 4, as you well know, if you followed my channel for a while, isn't my favourite game out of the Resident Evil games. Yeah, it's yeah, definitely not my favourite. Let's put this over here. Not my favourite. You know my favourites by now. Resident Evil 1 and Code Veronica. I'm more of a true survival horror, slow pace. You have choices to whether to take the enemies down or not. Loads of puzzles that make you pull your hair out. Yeah, and then Resident Evil 4 came along on the GameCube. And it was a bit like, whoa, okay, this is completely different. This is something. And yeah, it wasn't my favourite. It was a little bit gun heavy. And the remake isn't any different, I'm afraid. It is what it is. I mean, I'm glad they didn't, because I'm glad they didn't change it too much. Because by the sounds of things, before this game came out, we talked about it. I thought they were going to really change it a lot. Yeah, but I'm kind of glad they didn't, even though Resident Evil 4 isn't my cup of tea. It's basically more of an action horror game. It's not exactly gory or scary in any way. It's got some intense moments in this game, especially with the Chainsaw Sisters. Oh my god, that was a bit intense. It had its moments, and a lot of the bosses, ooh, intense moments there. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, even though it's, like I say, it's not my cup of tea. More of a slow-paced survival horror girl. It is a bit gun heavy. And I can see why people like this game. If you like that sort of thing, that's cool. But for me, I got a little bit bored towards the end. I just feel there wasn't enough to break up all the bang, 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 shoot, shoot, shoot. I mean, the merchant had a gun range, area where you can shoot some targets. And I was just like, more shooting. Ugh. There were puzzles in this game. They weren't terrible puzzles. They were pretty good. Some are better than others. But I suppose they can't really make them too hard because not everybody likes puzzles. people can't stand puzzles, I guess. It's just me that likes the puzzles here. I feel like there should have been more puzzles in this game to sort of break up the monotony of just endless shooting, or something else to sort of break that up. There is stealth in this game, but you can't always do that. You know, I try to use my knife and stealth as much as possible, just to break up that sort of shooting all the time. Yeah, but I feel like the older games, you could choose whether to take the enemies down. But in this game, I feel like, I mean, I went past a few enemies without taking them down, but mostly you kind of have to take them all out, especially when you have Ashley, because then they'll get her and they'll take her away, and it's game over for you, which isn't good. So really, you kind of have to take everyone out, which it's not my sort of thing. Just too much shooting. But I can see why people love Resident Evil 4. And yeah, I get it. I totally get it. But I also now understand, you know, why I didn't like Resident Evil 4. Actually, it's not a bad game. It's actually a very well made game. The original was very well made. Both very, very good games. It's just not my cup of tea. It's a shame, but it is what it is. And I knew what I was getting into when I bought this, you know. But I really, I did actually really like it overall, you know. And I need to think what I need to say. Wait a minute. So yeah, with the older sort of Resident Evil games, the sort of more true survival horror style Resident Evil games, there's a little bit more sort of strategy to them. You know, deciding whether to take that enemy out in the hallway, or you could leave that one and sort of run past that one every time, and then you're probably going to regret that a bit later on, maybe, when you're trying to run away from other enemies. But yeah, there was with the older survival horrors, just a little bit more sort of choice making, and with RE4, just feel like you have to like gun down everything. Yeah, so overall it was really, really good and very true to the original. Ashley, yeah, she was an improvement, but yeah, she still was irritating to me. Obviously, she's not screaming out, you know, like she did in the original. She's less screechy, but yeah, she still was irritating, and to me, there's many frustrating moments within this game still, and you know, she like ran into the villagers. Like, she could have ran around them, but she decided to run straight into them, resulting in a game over for me. Thanks, Ashley. And also there were these lockers that you could sort of tell her to hide in, and when the Chainsaw Sisters come crashing through, and she was hidden, I was like, oh, that's good, she's safe. And as we fired the Chainsaw Sisters, like, oh my god. And then all of a sudden she comes out of the locker, and I'm like, are you serious right now? And she's like, Leon! And I'm like, I am, no. Oh, I still do not care for Ashley. But overall, she's not as bad as the original. Oh my god, she really annoyed me in that game. But I suppose at least it's true to the original. She's still irritating. So, but not as frustrating as the original, you know. So, yeah, we had some moments, definitely. Um, but yeah, overall, I think it was a great game. It was very, very well made. Yeah, I think all the remakes are brilliant, really. Um, Obviously, I've not played number 3 yet, but I think, you know, yeah, moving on. I think I've said everything I can about this without ruining it, because I don't want to spoil this, you know, talk about the story or anything like that. But, yeah, probably should move on. But, so yeah, yes, let's talk about Ada Wong. Sadly, you know, she had a lot of harassment. The lady that is it, Lily Gao? Sorry if I butchered your name. She speaks out about she's had a lot of harassment, which is absolutely awful, and I genuinely feel sorry for her. And I really hope she doesn't think all Resident Evil fans are, you know, awful. We're not all the same. Yeah, this is just ridiculous. They were messaging her, complaining about her performance, about her voice acting in Re4. Even said she ruined the entire game. Like, you know, it's awful. I don't like bullying. I don't like nastiness. I hate it. I hate it. What do I think about her? Ada Wong. Well, obviously, when I first heard Ada Wong in this game, I was like, oh, different voice actor. But I didn't think, oh, it's terrible. I thought, I absolutely loved it. I thought, yes, that's, you know, she did a brilliant job. And I don't know what people expect. Like, they expect these remakes, and we've already talked about it in my Resident Evil talks and chatty videos. They expect it to be exactly the same. Why would you want that? I don't understand. You know, these remakes are, you know, they can improve on these and make them really, really good, and iron out any sort of like stuff that wasn't that great, and, you know, sort of make it more up to date. You know, because obviously a lot of these old games that they remade, you know, not many people are going to want to play them. You know, because of the tank controls and etc, etc, whatever. But you know, I think she'd done a brilliant job, and, you know, the merchant wasn't the exact same voice as the original either. And I think there might be some more characters in there who weren't exactly the same voice as the originals. And yeah, the merchant, at first I was like, oh, that's not the original guy. But I got used to it, and I love the merchant in this game. I love the original. The original will always be the just legend, a legend. He's awesome in this game, and yeah, I didn't think anything was wrong with Ada Wong's, you know. Yeah, I just thought she'd done a brilliant job. And I've got some notes here, sorry. And yeah, she's the first Asian actor to portray the Chinese American character outside Japan, who first appeared in Resident Evil 2 in 1998. So it, you know, it's a, and she, yeah, it's more of an authentic representation. And we leveled that, yeah, definitely. I really hope she gets to play Ada Wong again. And I hope she doesn't get put off by doing voice acting in the future, whatever she does. Yeah, it's awful. That people were nasty, and yeah, and I just hope that she is okay and doing okay. So yeah, I just feel, people can't enjoy something. They have to criticize all the time. It's, do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Like, you know, I mean, they say it's constructive criticism, but I just, really, I mean, just keep it to yourself. Do you know what I mean? Most people, I mean, you're allowed to dislike something, you're allowed to criticize, but to go after people, like, wow, it's something, isn't it? It's something else. It's ridiculous. I mean, do you not actually have a life? I mean, you must have a lot of time on your hands to actually go after someone and bully them online. It's ridiculous, and harass them, and it's just ridiculous and pathetic. And I think whoever did that is just a joke, in my opinion. I feel like no one can enjoy things these days, really. I feel like they just have to criticise every little thing about it. I mean, this game isn't my favourite, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. It's really well made, and everybody, all the voice actors, everybody that made this game, they're all amazing. Do you know what I mean? They really worked hard on this game, and I would like to see these people that are constantly criticising, people that make these games, actually make a game themselves. I bet it'd be awful. So, yeah, talk to the hand, all that. Unbelievable. Ugh. Anyway, I just think, Lily Gao, you're amazing, and I really hope that you get to play Ada Wong again. I loved your performance, and thank you for playing Ada Wong. And I hope you get many, many, good, thankses, and you're awesome. I think I expect she gets a lot more praise for her work rather than. I hope the good outweighs the hate, is what I'm trying to say. I can't speak properly. But yeah, it's it's ridiculous. Yeah, fans are angry about something else other than this. Yeah, my DLC and microtransactions. I don't really like microtransactions, but that's the modern day thing, isn't it, I suppose. Yeah, the Mercenaries DLC, there's going to be microtransactions with exclusive weapons, upgrade ticket things, and you're going to be, and they're basically saying it's pay to win. That really doesn't sound fun to me. Well, I'm not interested in Mercenaries. I'm not into sort of Call of Duty games and multiplayer, bang bang shoot, that type of thing. I was looking at the Resident Evil, was it Resident Evil Versus online, and I looked into it and I was like, nah, it's not my cup of tea. So I stayed away from it. A lot of people had fun with that, and that's cool. I guess there's a place for it, and yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think that's everything I need to speak about. There's a lot. Lots of moany people. Just enjoy it. God, and if you don't like these remakes, why are you buying them? That's what I want to say. question. Choices. Yeah. I'm glad I enjoyed this as much as I did. You know, I didn't have to get this because, you know, I knew Resident Evil 4 wasn't my favourite, you know, but I do have a little bit of nostalgia with this game, even though it's not my fave. Like, there's some moments in the original, isn't there, that, you know, and then I played this and I was like, oh man, you know. So I have a little bit of love for, you know, the original Resident Evil 4, and we got a little bit of love for this too. Yeah, I enjoyed my time playing this game, and overall, it's definitely well worth getting to check out and play. You know, just yeah. And they say, you know, some people say Resident Evil 4 was a game that destroyed Resident Evil. Very serious, aren't we, us fans? And some people say Resident Evil 4, if it weren't for Resident Evil 4, there wouldn't be a Resident Evil. I mean, you know, there is no... I miss the old school Resident Evil, as you well know, but yeah, I also believe if they didn't do something different, I don't think Resident Evil would be around today. They keep things fresh and they keep things going, and that's what I like about Capcom. You know, and they are really good. You know, they bring out demos, these teaser trailers. They're good at selling their games. They're good at getting the hype, you know, the hype train going, and you know, yeah, it's amazing. Oh, yeah. What do I think is the next Resident Evil remake they're gonna make? I think it's gonna be number 5. I'm afraid. I want Code Veronica. I know there's a lot of love out there for Code Veronica. Thing is, that is a slow pace, true survival horror. There's a lot of backtracking in that game. We've talked about Code Veronica, and there's going to be they need to mega rework that game big time for it to, for today's modern audience. It needs a lot of work. So I feel that, you know, they've done, what was it, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 4, it would be 5. And we do, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but, you know, most people have played the original. You see Wesker, and there's you know, people want to see more Albert Wesker. And you will see that in number 5. And I just feel they're going to remake 5 next, for definite. People are going about Resident Evil 6. I don't think they will ever remake 6, personally. Do people even like 6? I thought people absolutely hate number 6, but, you know, at least this actually has a lot of love. I feel 6 definitely won't get remade. 5, I think, is the one that's going to be remade next. And yeah, 5 has a lot of love, actually. And I feel it'll be that one. I do feel they will eventually make Code Veronica, but it might be the last game they make, sadly. But they will make it. Yeah, like I say, that has a lot of work to be done to that. So yeah, I think definitely it'd be number 5. That would be the remake next. For sure. Someone asked me, would they remake 0? I'm not sure. I don't think they're going to remake every game. I think number 5 definite. Code Veronica definite. 0 and 6, I don't think they will. Yeah, and what else is there to remake? They've pretty much done everything. They could remake Resident Evil 1 again, but with the RE engine. But I think they probably do that maybe for an anniversary or something, and do some extra special features, maybe a VR mode, so you get to go around the Spencer Mansion and VR. That'd be cool, and just extra bits and bobs, yeah, alternative costumes. Yeah, that'd be cool. More alternative endings. Like some really cool things they could make that really really good, and I would totally buy it. I think many people actually would buy another remake of the first game again. But yeah, I think that's everything I want to say. Yeah, hopefully my review is okay. I'm not very good with reviews. People keep asking me, do I do reviews of games? And I'm just like, I'm rubbish at them. I really can't describe games very well, even though I've played them. I'm just terrible at it. I just, yeah. I mean, I enjoy games, I play games. I'm just an average Joe that just plays games. I'm not really someone that is very good at describing games in full detail, and I'm not good at reviews. If I was, I'd be bloody, doing magazines and stuff, not doing I'd be working with games closer. I'd be in the gaming industry if I was good at that sort of thing. I wouldn't be cleaning for a living, that's for sure. I know my stuff, but I'm not, I feel like I'm not that great at explaining things. I've always been rubbish at that. But hopefully I try my best. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it there. Because I've probably already messed up. And I probably missed out so many bits and bobs that I want to talk about. But, oh well, we're gonna end up there. Because we're just waffling on now. As we do. Probably repeating myself about 1,000 times. Which I tend to do often. I try not to, but well. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, I hope you check this out eventually. I think I kept this spoiler free as possible. I didn't go into detail. I don't want to. I think just check it out if you're not checked it out yet. So, and have fun. Enjoy gaming. Bye, guys.